From Concord University in Athens, West Virginia, this is Mountain Lion News.
Hello, and welcome to Mountain Lion News. I'm Leah Gilpin.
And I'm Ashley Workman. Around this time of year, there's always excitement to be had, and not all of it is on campus. That's right. Every year throughout Labor Day weekend, folks from all over come out to the heart of Oak Hill, West Virginia to take part in the Oak Leaf Festival. Traditionally, this beloved three-day festival hosts a variety of fun events and activities for everyone to enjoy. From the parade to nearly 100 vendors and live music, the festival is the event of the season in Fayette County. This year, the former members of the Supremes grooved up the stage, and the local band Black Garlic discussed what this festival means to them.
It's kind of cool to grow up in a town and they're like, hey, we recognize that you're in the band, get your band up here, and it's really cool.
Service projects are being coordinated at Concord University that will better the campus and both local and global communities while helping freshmen meet their University 100 service requirement for the fall term. The projects are being coordinated through the Concord Bonner Scholars Program. According to Kathy Ball, the program's director, the designated freshman service days have been scheduled for 3 Saturdays early in the term. A variety of projects are planned, from cleanup and beautification work to activities for brightening the lives of children and senior citizens. Service options will include making dog toys for the Mercer County Animal Shelter, repainting the paw prints leading through Concord's campus, creating placemats for residents of local retirement communities, and cutting and constructing shoe kits for Soul Hope to distribute to children and adults in Uganda, and other service options. Concord students can pre-register to participate in the projects and should report to subway area of the Student Center between 8:30 a.m. and 9 a.m. on each service project date before dispersing for their various projects. For additional information, email bonner@concord.edu. Now here's Brandon Eanes with Concord Sports.
Welcome to another sports-packed fall semester here on Mountain Lion News. I'm Brandon Eanes, and I'll be bringing you all the up-to-date information about every sports team and athletic event here at Concord University. All fall sports are officially in action as we saw many of the teams kick off their seasons this past weekend. Both men's and women's golf teams competed in their respective tournaments, with the women finishing 15th, while the men ended the weekend with a top 5 finish. Concord's women's volleyball team was also in action as they dropped both of their matches at this weekend's annual Seawolf Invite hosted by Alaska Anchorage. Concord's soccer program was also in action as the men's soccer team took on Frostburg State this past weekend. It was a tough-fought match that ended in a scoreless 0-0 draw, and they'll face West Liberty next at home. The women, however, had a better luck, finishing their contest with an amazing 10-0 win over Salem. They scored 5 goals in each half while also defending extremely well. Freshman forwards Rachel Bell and sophomore forward Leah Foster both had their own respective hat tricks to help the Mountain Lions seal the victory. They look forward to their next opponent at Wingate on Wednesday night. Now switching from the pitch to the gridiron, Concord football opened up its 2019 campaign by facing off against nationally ranked Notre Dame. Concord started off the scoring with a 21-yard field goal by Luke Walls. This, however, was followed by 20 unanswered points by the Falcons, causing the 20-3 lead for Notre Dame going into halftime. Concord, however, would come out inspired in the second half, with the defense forcing a punt on Notre Dame's opening drive. The offense would immediately capitalize with a Kyle Aiken touchdown pass to junior wideout Isaiah Bowman. This would be the last points that the Mountain Lions would score, as Notre Dame would go on to win the game 33-10. Senior quarterback Kyle Aiken would finish the day going 16 for 32, 212 yards, and 1 touchdown along with 1 interception. On the defensive side of the ball, sophomore linebacker Tylen Fowler and Cameron Fannin tied for the team lead at 8 tackles apiece. Fowler also recovered 1 of the 2 forced fumbles on the afternoon. Senior defensive tackle Ryan Guttrell also had a career day, ending with 7 tackles and a career-high 3.5 sacks, along with the other forced fumble. Concord looks forward to hosting new Division II and Mountain East Conference member Frostburg State on Saturday at 12 for their home opener. Can't wait to see everybody there.
Thanks, Brandon. Now here's some news about esports.
Last spring, Concord University implemented their new esports program, also tabbing Iowa State alumni Jacob Neerland as the team's head coach. This week, we got a chance to speak with him as well as 2 of his players, Chase Daffrin and Andrew Thompson.
Yeah, so basically my job is to coach an entire esports program. So the difference between us and other programs are many programs will have a director and then they have some subcontracted out coaches for each of their teams. We don't have that. We have me. So basically I'm coaching 4 teams, 2 Call of Duty teams, an Overwatch team, and a League of Legends team. It's very similar to traditional sports where I get here, we might have a meeting with players, arrange for scrims, or we just jump right into games with league play and stuff like that. Once games are done, we quickly talk over some of the issues or some of the problems players might have had in the game, talk over things they're doing well, do VOD review, play more games, rinse and repeat. But I do that for 4 teams instead of 1. So whereas traditional sports, you might have a 1 head coach who's doing all of that with 1 team all day, I'm doing that with up to 4 teams all day, every day. I'm here all the time. Aspirations for this year, I think especially a Call of Duty team has a chance to potentially win the entire national tournament. Applications or entry forms start in November, and assuming we get into that, which we should have no problem doing so, play for that begins in spring. And we're pretty much as ready as we could be. We're just working on getting our second team geared up and prepared for playing in competitive, because a lot of them don't necessarily have the competitive experience, but they have the analytical experience to do well. And so we're trying to find the healthy balance between the two and get that nice medium ground. And I'm sure you're going to hear from a couple of my COD players about what they expect to do this year.
I got into Concord Esports. Jake emailed me probably in July and asked if I wanted to be a part of the esports team. And I was like, sure. So I had a tryout with all the guys online. We played for about 3 months, really meshed well with each other, and then I came here to sign, met all the guys in person, met Jake, and it was just such a great atmosphere. I didn't want to go back home, so I stayed, and now I'm here at school. I play flex for our team, which basically is if whatever my team needs me to run to do well, I will run it, and no questions asked. Our goals for the season, I guess, is to win the CCL, the College COD League, and we are looking to win that. And we have a very good team, and if we just execute our plan right now, and we'll be really good.
So I ended up here because my 2 sisters come here and they play softball, and then I found out about the esports program from an email that they got from the school. So I was like, yeah, I'll come try out. I play Call of Duty, and my position on the team is a sub-slayer, so I just basically kill everyone. My goals and aspirations for the team is basically just to win the CCL, which is the league that we're playing under. And I'm pretty sure we're going to win. We got a pretty good chance because, everyone there's not very good, but it's okay because, we're trying our best, and we're going to win. I know it.
If interested in joining or just seeing what Concord Esports is all about, you can contact Coach Neerland at 304-384-5230 or by stopping by Ray Hall Room 127. They can also be found on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Concord Esports.
When it comes to what's new at the cinema,
we turn to MLN's very own Cameron White.
Welcome to See You at the Cinema. Today I will be reviewing Quentin Tarantino's newest masterpiece, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It should go without saying that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is amazing and brilliant and so on. After all, it is a Tarantino film. With that said, the best part of the movie that might go unappreciated by the average moviegoer is how reserved his 9th film actually is. With that said, spoilers ahead. Tarantino already proved that he can make films that could be considered mature, aka Jackie Brown, and to a lesser extent Reservoir Dogs. But Tarantino has never been great at being reserved, at least in terms of violence. But this was a masterclass in terms of building suspense and anxiety, all of it leading up to this twist ending that has a glorious crescendo of violence, leaving the audience in a perfect state of euphoria. In other words, I'm giving Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a 9 out of 5, not only for its quality, not only because it is Tarantino's 9th movie, but also because it is almost the length of 2 whole feature films.
Sim!
Wow. I'm so glad to be back here at MLN. In fact, my joy has led me to review a few more films than I usually do. The next one premiering on a little-known streaming platform called Netflix, and the movie being a reboot of a Nickelodeon show that hasn't had a new season in about 17 years. This is, of course, Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus. To be entirely honest, one could say that I went into this with my expectations low, and that would be beyond correct. I never watched the show as a kid, so to prepare myself for Enter the Florpus, I watched a few episodes to give me a taste of what Invader Zim had to offer, and I was not entertained. So I went into this assuming that what I was about to watch was akin to some new form of torture. But while watching this movie, that is a reboot of a children's TV show, I realized something. The creator of Invader Zim, Jonan Vasquez, who wrote the reboot, has matured along with his audience. And while the movie and its sense of humor is not what I would consider adult, I would not be willing to label it as childish either. This movie is a kids' movie made for adults, and it does an excellent job with that. Most of the problems with the TV show, especially the gross-out humor and lack of story, are toned down if not totally fixed in the movie, and I would have to recommend it whether you grew up with it or even like the show. Enter the Florpus gets a respectable 4 out of 5 invaders.
Some people.
If a review of a movie that is a continuation of a Nickelodeon show seems interesting to you, then perhaps a review of a horror movie that is based on a collection of short stories meant for teenagers, turn off your lights and open your ears, because I am going to review Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Scary Stories was directed by Andre Overdahl, whose name I am most certainly mispronouncing. But more importantly, it was partially produced and written by the Guillermo del Toro, who is one of my favorite directors of this generation. The key word here is director. Del Toro did not direct. Some guy named Andre did, and it shows. That does not mean that the film is bad. In fact, it was obviously well written, and the effects, while obviously CGI, did not work against the movie. Scary Stories is honestly just a decent film. Very good for a horror movie meant for kids and young teens, but nonetheless decent in the grand scheme of things. I am giving Scary Stories a 3 out of 5 scarecrows. Well, that's all I have to review for this time, but I will be back in 2 weeks with a review for It Chapter 2 and possibly more. Until then, I am Cameron White. Back to you, Leia.
Thanks, Cameron.
Now here's a look at some of the Rush Week activities that happened on campus this semester. As new incoming students set foot on the campus beautiful every fall, sororities and fraternities hold Rush Week events and efforts to recruit new members within their Greek organizations. This year, national sororities and fraternities on campus, including Tau Kappa Epsilon, Sigma Tau Gamma, Phi Sigma Phi, Alpha Sigma Alpha, Alpha Sigma Tau, Delta Zeta, and Sigma Sigma Sigma, held several events that were open to Concord University students. These events range from cookouts in the valley, to Nerf wars, to volleyball, to ice cream socials, to competitive cornhole tournaments. Although Rush Week has now come to a close, students are encouraged to attend Greek life events throughout the semester.
And that's all we have time for in this week's MLN News. I'm Leah Gilpin.
And I'm Ashley Workman. We'll see you in 2 weeks.